After 65, types of older men, younger women secretly desire. 80% women fall for #3. Younger women crave something younger men simply can't offer. Wisdom that comes from surviving life, patience shaped by decades of experience, and emotional direction that only a mature man can provide. And after 60, these qualities don't just appear, they radiate from you without effort. You've lived enough life to stay calm when others panic, to speak softly when others raise their voice, to move with certainty when younger men still stumble through their own confusion. This is the masculine energy younger women quietly desire, the kind that makes them feel safe, understood, and grounded without you having to prove anything. Most older men underestimate this. They look in the mirror and see age, but younger women see something far more powerful. A man who has lived, learned, endured, and now carries a presence no younger man can replicate. Hi, welcome back to my channel. It's Vernon again. In today's video, I'm going to share 5 types of older men, younger. Women attraction is built on the kinds of men women think about late at night. The ones they don't talk about openly. The ones who create psychological attraction triggers women can't ignore. Before we dive in, if you're here for real dating advice for older men, relationship psychology insights, and masculine mindset training after 60, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Let's begin by meeting the first kind of man who pulls younger women in without even trying. The one whose presence feels steady, safe, and unmistakably masculine. Has shown the gentleman. And no, I'm not talking about opening doors or pulling out chairs, though those gestures matter. I'm talking about something far deeper, emotional maturity in men. The ability to stay calm when everything around you is chaos, to listen without needing to fix, to hold space for a woman's feelings without making it about your ego. This is the man who doesn't yell when he's frustrated, who doesn't shut down when a conversation gets uncomfortable, who can look a woman in the eye and say, "I hear you. Let's figure this out together." Younger women? They've been dating boys their whole lives. Boys who ghost them, boys who can't handle conflict, boys who crumble under pressure or explode in anger. And then they meet a man, a real man, who carries emotional control like a superpower. She doesn't need drama. She needs stability. And you? You've spent decades learning how to manage stress, how to communicate without attacking, how to apologize without collapsing. That's not weakness. That's mature, masculine energy. And it's one of the most powerful attraction triggers women notice. Here's what most men don't realize. Emotional stability isn't something you perform. It's something you've earned. Every hard conversation you didn't run from, that built your capacity. Every time you chose to understand instead of react, that deepened your presence. A 5-year-old might have passion, but he doesn't have the emotional bandwidth that comes from decades of life experience. He hasn't learned yet that a woman's emotions aren't a threat, they're an invitation to deeper connection. That's the gentleman. He doesn't need to dominate the room. He anchors it. When we talk about what truly constitutes a great act of love, we must turn to Alain de Botton, who perhaps put it best. In his words, the greatest thing a man can do for the woman he loves is to create a space where she feels safe enough to be vulnerable. That, right there, is the blueprint for true intimacy. Emotional intelligence for men isn't about being soft. It's about being solid. It's about knowing yourself so well that another person's emotions don't destabilize you. That's high-value men habits, and younger women feel it the moment they're around you. Do you react or do you respond? Drop your answer in the comments, because that one shift changes everything. But emotional maturity is just the beginning. Some women crave something even more magnetic. #2, the reliable partner. This is the man who does what he says, who shows up when he says he will, who doesn't make promises he can't keep. And in a world full of flaky men, inconsistent behavior, and empty words, reliability is a rare, masculine superpower. You know what younger women are exhausted by? The guessing game. The "I'll text you later" that never comes. The "let's hang out sometime" that never turns into an actual plan. The emotional roller coaster of modern dating dynamics, where nobody commits, nobody follows through, and nobody takes responsibility. And then she meets you. A man who says, "I'll call you Friday at 7, and the phone rings at 7. A man who plans a date and actually takes her there. A man whose word is his bond. This isn't boring. This is masculine presence appeal. It's the grounding force women have been craving their entire lives. I have a friend, Thomas, 67, owns a small bookshop, never married, but he's had a series of meaningful relationships with women much younger. I asked him once what they saw in him. He shrugged and said, "I don't play games. If I say I'm going to be somewhere, I'm there. If I commit to something, I follow through." Women tell me that's rare. Rare? Try. Almost extinct. There's this great saying that really sums up the risk in any business relationship. Kevin Plank nailed it when he said, "Trust is built in drops and lost in buckets." So, my message is simple. Don't get lazy with the drops. And whatever you do, do not drop the bucket. When you're consistent, when you're trustworthy, when you eliminate drama and chaos from your life, you become a man women don't want to lose. That's not about money. That's about character. That's the behavioral psychology in dating nobody teaches men anymore. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be dependable. And dependability? That's one of the most underrated older men relationship advantages you'll ever have. If this resonates, share this video with a man who needs to hear it. Let's spread real masculine mindset training, not pickup artist nonsense. Reliability wins her trust. But what wins her imagination? That's something completely different. #3. The Adventurous Spirit. This is the man who's lived, who's traveled, who has stories that don't come from a screen, they come from experience. The man who can talk about the night he got lost in Barcelona, or the village in Thailand where nobody spoke English, or the time he road-tripped across the country with nothing but a guitar and a dream. Younger women fall for men who open the world for them, not because they need a tour guide, but because you represent possibility. You represent a life beyond the script. You remind her that life isn't supposed to be predictable and small. It's supposed to be rich, textured, full of curiosity and wonder. I met a woman named Lila, 38, at a community dinner. She was dating a man, 61, who'd been a photographer for National Geographic. She told me, "He doesn't just tell me about places. He makes me feel what it's like to stand there. He describes the light, the sounds, the people, and suddenly, I want to see it all through his eyes." That's the adventurous spirit. He's not trying to impress. He's simply alive, and that energy is contagious. You don't need a passport full of stamps. You just need to be the kind of man who still asks questions, who still explores, who still believes there's more to discover. That's masculine energy psychology at its finest. See, the real power here isn't about the number of stamps in your passport. It's about the mindset. That's why I love this line from Marcel Proust. He reminds us that the real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. That's the core of the adventurous spirit. It's a constant, internal exploration, not just a geographical one. You're not stuck. You're not resigned. You're still growing. And that growth, that curiosity, that refusal to settle into numbness, that's what makes a man magnetic at any age. She doesn't want someone who's given up. She wants someone who reminds her that life is still an adventure. And you, with your scars, your stories, your wisdom, you embody that. Adventure awakens her excitement, but the mind is what captures her for good. #4. The Creative Visionary. What do you call a man who doesn't follow the world's script but writes his own? He's the one who moves through life with a different kind of vision. Part artist, part thinker, part quiet philosopher. He notices what others overlook, reads what few would pick up, and shares ideas that shift the way she understands the world. His intelligence isn't loud. It's layered, thoughtful, unmistakably his. He doesn't echo the crowd. He follows the rhythm of his own mind. And younger women? They're starving for that depth. Most conversations are shallow. Most men talk about sports, work, surface-level stuff. But this man? He asks her about her dreams. He talks about meaning, about beauty, about what it means to live fully. He challenges her mind the way most men only try to charm her body. A woman named Sandra, 42, told me about her uncle, a sculptor, 68, who never married, but always had younger women in his orbit. She said, women didn't fall for him because he was handsome. They fell for him because when you talked to him, you felt expanded, like your own mind got bigger. That's the creative visionary. He's not performing. He's simply seeing more than most people do. And when a woman is around him, she starts to see more too. Carl Jung said it best. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. That's the heart of the creative visionary. A man shaped by authenticity, not performance. This is about personal development for men at the deepest level. It's not about success. It's about self-actualization. It's about becoming the kind of man who creates meaning, who lives with purpose, who isn't afraid to think, feel, and express. Younger women don't just want a partner. They want someone who expands their world, someone who makes them think, I didn't know life could feel like this. If this part resonates, if you know a man who embodies this, or needs to share this video with him, it might open a door he didn't know existed. And of course, there's the type she can't quite shake, the one who lingers in her mind long after the conversation ends. #5. The Enigma. Some men attract without effort, not through words, but through the quiet certainty of who they are. Younger women are used to men who text constantly, who explain every feeling, who need constant validation. But you're different. You don't need her approval. You're not trying to win her over. You're simply a present. And that presence, that calm, grounded, self-contained masculine energy, it pulls her in like gravity. Here's the psychology. The human brain is wired to chase what it doesn't fully understand. When you're too available, too predictable, too eager, there's no curiosity. But when you hold back, when you give her space to wonder, when you let silence do the talking, her mind fills in the blanks, and she becomes fascinated. Victor and I worked in the same neighborhood back then, and I'd stop by his jazz club whenever I needed to breathe. He never said much, but somehow you always left understanding more. Women always asked about him. He didn't need many words, just a quiet smile, a nod, and the sound of his piano filling the room. One woman told me, I kept going back because I couldn't figure him out, and the more I didn't know, the more I wanted to. That's the enigma. He doesn't chase, hepples. He doesn't explain. He embodies. If you look at the fundamental engine of human progress, what makes us want to push the boundaries of science and discovery, you have to start with the unknown. And who better to define that drive than Neil Armstrong, the man who defined exploration? He stated it perfectly. Mystery creates wonder, and wonder is the basis of man's desire to understand. It's a simple, elegant formula for curiosity itself. This doesn't mean playing games. It means being so secure in yourself that you don't need to fill every silence, justify every choice, or seek validation from anyone. That's power and emotional control, and it's one of the most attractive traits a man can have. When you stop chasing and start living fully in your own energy, women notice. They lean in. They get curious. They want to know more. And before you move on, take a moment to save this video. These insights have a way of arriving at the exact moment you need them again. If you made it this far, you now understand something most men never will. Women don't fall for age. They fall for the energy a man carries. When you understand your value as a man after 60, you stop trying to compete with younger men. You stop chasing. You stop pretending. And you start embodying the qualities that only time, experience, and self-awareness can create. This is the real secret of why younger women like older men. It's not the money. It's not the status. It's the presence. It's the calm. It's the confidence that comes from knowing yourself so deeply that you don't need anyone else's approval. As Rainer Maria Rilke once said, "The only journey is the one within." And when a man completes that journey, when he knows who he is, what he values, and what he stands for, he doesn't chase attraction, he becomes attraction. Which of these 5 types resonates most with you? Or maybe you're a mix. Maybe you've met one of these men and he changed how you see relationships? Drop your story in the comments. Your experience might be exactly what another man needs to hear right now. If you found value in this video, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and check the description for more resources on relationship psychology insights, dating after 60, and senior dating advice that actually works. And I'm Vernon. Thanks for watching till now, and see you in the next video.